Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. And guys, welcome to another edition of the Hard Truth Show. I apologize for the little bit of delay today getting started. Apparently, StreamYard has done some massive updates to this, which I'm loving, but it's taking a little bit of adjusting to getting this going. So real quickly, before I begin this today, I just want to point out that this season that we are in, if there ever was a season to get your house in order, spiritually and physically, it's now. I just feel the immense urgency to get my own house in order. And you can feel the change in the world. You can feel the change in people. I can just see those that serve, the wicked kingdom of Satan and the New World Order and all. You can just see the boldness of people coming forward. And judgment is going to come up on this land. There is no doubt about that. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about events we should be prepared for in the near future, because I expect every single thing that I put on this list to happen. I'm going to give, I'm going to give example after example of why I've arrived at this. And as a prepper that's been doing this since 2009, ever since most of y'all woke me up in Babylon, I tell you what, like, it is so imperative to me now. It is so obvious now of what's about to go down. And I just, I feel like that there's never been a more important time to absorb all that what's going to be said today than there is now. Much love to everyone coming in the building. Shalom to everybody. And much love back to you guys too. It's always a blessing to fellowship with everybody. Real quickly, I want to do one quick thing, and because I told Brother Jeremiah I would do a shout out for it, and that is right here, the Truth or Con shout out. If you want to share that with everyone, the venue I think is settled down now. It's going to be at Social A Dallas, and that's the address. And I'll be one of the speakers at the event. And I also have a quick little video I'll play for it too right here before we get going.
Something huge is coming. We're building the world's largest truther convention. It's called TrutherCon.
This is the place where truthers unite to explore knowledge, ask tough questions, to challenge the mainstream narrative.
But it isn't just a convention. It's a movement for free thought, open discussion, and the right to question everything.
We are bringing in some of the biggest names of the truther community, so expect deep discussions, mind-blowing revelations, and connections with like-minded truth seekers.
If you feel like the truth is being hidden from you, this is where you need to be.
And the best part, it's 100% grassroots, built by truthers for truthers, straight from our Skiba News Nation family. TrutherCon will be a massive networking event. I believe this is going to be the most exciting truther event ever.
October 2025 in Dallas, Texas. We hope to see you there.
So guys, just make sure to keep that in mind moving forward if you're in that area that time of year. And much love, Sister Tess, Sister Sandy. There's a lot of folks that have been big supporters of this channel for a long time. Much love to everybody coming in. I've got something different to share with you today. Like usually I have slides and I'll talk, but I've got a lot of video stuff to drop in now, news articles. And I think this is going to be an interesting adjustment going forward. It's pretty cool because this is stream 101. So I hope the next 100 Hard Truth Show streams is a lot more hard hitting than the others have been in the past. So with that said, I want to start this off on a positive note because it's going to get really, really, really dark. And darkness always comes the darkest before the dawn. So with that said, I don't mind one bit if you share that on your channel. And Sister Cindy, you go right ahead. Guys, anytime you ever want to copy any of my content, it's for the kingdom. Go right ahead. The scripture says, "For behold, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor they will become to mind." Isaiah 65:17. And I hope so greatly that I can be counted worthy to be a part of that. For those that are celebrating Shabbat today and Shavuot, Feast of Weeks, and New Moon this week as well, coming up. Much love to everyone that's honoring the Father's set apart appointed times. I know it is very, very hard to honor that in these days that we are living in. So shout out to everyone doing that. And please pray for me as that I'm praying for my subscribers too, and the world as well, that we can all be forgiven our sins, and that, the stumbling blocks and the generational curses and the pet sins and all the things that we've all cleaved to, that, we can let go of it and be forgiven of it and flee it and be saved and enter the kingdom. Because, guys, I just do not want to miss the new world to come. That's priority over life itself, family, everything. Status, power, that is absolutely the most important thing in the world to me at this point. I don't care about anything but just make it in the kingdom outside of taking care of my family. So, we hear about New Jerusalem, and, the particular measurements in this, they're showing 1,400 by 1,400 by 1,400 miles. And I'm actually going to invite someone onto the channel to discuss about the new kingdom, because they've covered the topic greatly in the past. And I just think that their expose they've done on it is just excellent. And they also have arrived that they believe that the new kingdom is a pyramid instead of a square, because, chief cornerstone could be the chief capstone. They is the same dimensional aspect you could have with a square as a cube as you could with a pyramid. And the fact that Satan tries to copy everything and make it terrible, just like Satan, has the all-seeing eye and New World Order pyramid, and then all the pyramids around the world and stuff that, they've used for false deity worship and stuff. It just kind of leads credence that most likely when we see the kingdom come, it's going to be a pyramid. Furthermore, if you were thinking like Satan, keep in mind that if he's trying to make everyone think that a pyramid's a bad thing, when the New Jerusalem does arrive, people's going to try to obviously attack it too, right? So, when we look at that, like science fiction comparisons, the Borg cube and the Death Star from Star Wars and the Starship Enterprise, Star Trek, we see all the science fiction stuff. You can see how minute, so how small and insignificant, even some of the largest things we could ever think of in scientific wise, science fiction, the new kingdom, just all these things pale in comparison to the awesomeness. Even if you use, there was this one Greek measurer that would measure the likeness of a city as a whole, and then that would be how it'd be broke down, and that would make that pyramid top like maybe around 300 miles at height at that point, and 375 wide by deep. Still a megalithic structure. So it's just going to be amazing to see that come, and no more death, right? Well, so before we get there, we're going to see a ton of things take place. And one thing we can you can bank the farm on, is that you're going to see the 7 trumpets revelation, unless you are believing in preterism doctrine that we are in Satan's little season. Should this begin to happen, D-Day +1, the difference between a person that is preparing for this, which would be considered a futurist, right? Such as myself, and then the people that is a preterist or partial preterist that believe in Satan's little seasons already in play, then we're going to have a problem here, because I have made preparation mentally and physically, and the person that is in Satan's little seasons concluded that this is all in the past and have made a grievous error at that point. If that is the case, if they're right, then great. I'm fine with being in error, because that saves a lot of troubles that I'd have to go through, concluding the mark of the beast and etc. And I ain't got to deal with that, but I am firmly planning on having to deal with that. So with that said, we see that, as we move through the book of Revelation, and I'm just going to summarize this real quickly, because as we go through these other events, you can see how that a lot of this stuff that's about to pop off looks like it's falling right in line with what is coming in the trumpets. So a third of the stars fall from the heavens, and a third of the green grass burned up. Before the trumpets even start, there is a grand earthquake, a great earthquake beginning all this. And you see a third of the sea becomes blood, and a third of the ships are destroyed. For a third of the ships to be destroyed in the sea, that is a mega tsunami required. Okay. A third of the waters turn bitter following that. A third of the sun, moon, and stars do not shine. That can be either the sky, the stars in the sky are literally smitten, or there is a massive blocking in the sky, that blocks that out, like either from volcanic ash or from atmospheric weather. I mean, there's a couple options on the table for that. Next, we see locusts wielding the beast's military power. We see like alien type creatures upon the earth. And then what actually is, you look at the breakdown, it kind of reminds me of something out of the Aliens movies, like, literally Alien versus Predator type stuff for those that's seen, pop culture. 200 million man army, a third of mankind killed, sixth trumpet. And then at the seventh trumpet, the kingdom of the Most High is declared. So there's a lot to unpack there. And, I've covered the seven trumpets of Revelation in a 7 or 8 part series in the past. The link is in the video description below already. And you can go check that out at your convenience. I produced that years ago by the grace of Yah, Most High Yah. And I hope it is a help to you, because it is definitely finally coming up on the menu, it looks like. And so moving forward of that, so the first thing that, and these are in no particular order, but I mean, this one, honestly, being first on the list, wouldn't surprise me if it's one of the first things that we don't experience, but you will definitely experience at some point throughout all of these calamities. And although some places in the world may not experience all these things, or may experience all of them, some of these are definitely on the play no matter where you live. And especially here in America, we're going to experience a bunch of these. For those that's watching from the United States of America. The thing with the power grid is it's probably its most fragile state that it's ever been. Now, I know that may seem like an absurd statement, but from somebody that has decades in electrical background, that owns an off-grid construction company, that deals with the electric companies around the country. And, I've been across the world too, and seen a few things and built a few things. I can tell you that the new poles going up look nice, but the power plants and the infrastructure, and especially from A to B, is very old. And it is being taxed massively. This particular dam right there is Douglas Dam. That's not far from where I live here in East Tennessee. There is another dam that's, I'd pretty much call it its sister dam, Cherokee Dam, that is actually, the concrete is literally weeping water. Like, I'm waiting for just to wake up one day and it just be wiped out. Like, literally a small, good, sizable earthquake could really get the job done. These dams are old. They were built long ago. I mean, we're moving up on some dams in America being into the 100-year mark. I mean, like, we're talking ancient at this point. Okay. And when the power grid goes out, ladies and gentlemen, it will be a nightmare to try to restabilize it and restore it. A power failure happened recently in my area, and it affected about almost 10,000 people, which is roughly about 1/5 of the entire people that's on Appalachian Electric. And I seen that was a small thunderstorm that did that much damage. Okay. And I'm not trying to minimize the weather. I'm just saying, like, it's small in comparison to some of the wild stuff we have seen. And, the vulnerability, such vulnerability that we see right now in the grid, you can bank on it that one day you're going to wake up, you're going to go in the bathroom like I did not too long ago. You're going to go to flip the light switch on to use the bathroom and start your day, and the power don't work. And then it don't come back. And that's going to be the day that many people's going to be like, man, I wish I'd have just got a goal zero backup power thing, even if I didn't go fully off grid, or I wish I'd have just got a rechargeable light like that's, or a USB powered charger thing, so I could just charge up my walkie-talkie. Like, it's going to be that wake up day, and we're fast approaching it. And you are not wrong, Neil Log. That's a very good comment. We're about to witness things in the end of days that will make even the sports worshiping meatheads take notice. Absolutely. Appreciate that, Sister Cindy. You all are some of my favorite subscribers. So much love to you guys as well. And yeah, that's you guys are great. So moving forward, the next thing on the checklist is nuclear war. Now, I can tell you in a couple ways why that I believe absolutely this will take place. But one of the main points that I would, sorry guys, I'm just going to mark this on my list right here. I've got a checkbox because I've got so many different things I'm going to share with you today. I'm checking it off on my phone as I go. One of the reasons that I think fundamentally that you will see nuclear war is because of 2 Esdras chapter 16. Now, I have covered this recently. Let me go to this right here. If you haven't seen this, is 2 Esdras chapter 16 prophecy taking place now? That's woe to you, Babylon, Asia, woe to you, Egypt and Damascus. Put on haircloth, sackcloth, but wear your sons and daughters, because your destruction is nigh at hand. And you know, you can see that Iraq has already pointed out that, you know, that if Iran has war, that'll spill over into them. Damascus just literally got bombed the other day. Damascus, literally the one, you know, that Isaiah 17 says it'll be a burden of Damascus, a ruinous heap. Yeah, that place literally got bombed by the nation state of Israel the other day. What I would say the imposter nation state, because the true Hebrew Israelites are the so-called, many of the so-called black people, the descendants of Abraham scattered throughout the nation's day under the curse of Deuteronomy 28, and not the people that is living in that land currently. And then lastly, what does that leave us? I said Iraq, Syria. Let me see. We've got Iran and we've got Iraq. We covered that. And lastly, Egypt. And then we can see all the stuff going on over there, which is going to spill over probably from the Gaza situation into Egypt as well. So something to keep in mind. And you know what's crazy is when you really, really deep dive into this, right? The countries that are armed with nuclear weapons, right? If we look at this in depth, Russia has the most. And I know this is, many people's probably going to disagree with me, but out of every single one of these people on the list, I feel like they are the most wise-minded right now to try to stay out of conflict. I could say things about the Russia-Ukraine war, but I really don't want my subscribers to hate me, because I feel like Russia was drawn into that situation where they really had no choice but to invade. Because if they didn't, you're going to have NATO sitting in your backyard, and we could go into a lot of depth on that. And it's not really relevant to me right now for in-day's discussion. But following up to that, you know, we have the United States of America and China and France and United Kingdom and India and Pakistan, which just exchanged blows recently, and both are nuclear-powered countries, which is terrifying. And then we have Israel, and then the one country that's actually semi-behaved itself recently, North Korea, is got 50, according to Statista. And this was around the 1st of last year on the pagan Roman satanic papal calendar. Yeah, that is an excellent question too. Is it the whole earth or only in parts? And I feel that this will only be in parts. But now, with that said, you know, if you look at Babylon being burnt and the merchants standing afar off and their ships crying for it, I would not be surprised in the future myself if we don't see nuclear exchange in the Middle East. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see a nuclear exchange between Russia and the some of the epicenters of the United States, like Atlanta, South Florida, West Coast on California, and especially New York, Washington, D.C. area. I wouldn't be surprised if you know, you didn't see that happen in those places for sure. All right. But keep in mind, you know, the river Euphrates is drying up too, to make way for the kings of the east, just like the scripture talks about. And it doesn't specify how it dries up. It just says it dries up. So I don't care if it dries up by the Most High's hand or by building 500 hydroelectric power dams on the river. I don't care how it dries. It's drying rapidly. Okay. So, you know, there's that. And much love to you, Sister Cindy. I appreciate the shout out on that. Please, everybody, hit the like button, because that's how we keep alive in the algorithm, because the algorithm drives YouTube anymore. and they don't care for us truthers. All right. All right. So next up, which I think is a big one and has actually been one that I am been preparing with great vigilance for a long time, even back when I was featured on Doomsday Preppers season 2 years ago, episode 11, I think it was, or 8 or 11, something like that, or 10, might have been 10. Anyway, the New Madrid, okay, whether it be the New Madrid or whether it be New Madrid or whether it be, the San Andreas, or whether it be worldwide or on the Ring of Fire that's, popping off right now, and all sorts of shaking and earthquaking and volcano region area over there, whether it be that to be the case, one thing we need to take away from is that in 1811 to 1812, when that one went off, okay, the Mississippi River ran backwards. I think it was for the space of 3 hours or 3 days, I believe it was. And it created Reelfoot Lake. All right. And when you look at this and you think about how devastating that was, this is the perceived shaking. Okay. The epicenter right there, it was literally extreme. So all the way up Mississippi River Basin area there. And then all the way to Nashville was severe. Okay. All the way out past there. And then it was even strong all the way over to the Appalachian Mountains over where I live. And then it was even moderate all the way to the East Coast. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised at that, Michael. I wouldn't be surprised at that, especially with the flood maps. I wouldn't be surprised if the Memphis area isn't oceanfront property by the time that thing is done, brother. I really would not be surprised. There's a lot to consider, folks. This is a lot to unpack. And I'm not trying to terrify anyone. I'm just trying to tell you, like, you ain't going to see this on the news, right? Like, what you're going to see on the news is them pathetic police officers that pulled that Hebrew Israelite, and he probably don't even know he's Hebrew Israelite, and hopefully he wakes up to it, but they beat him in his car, pulled him out the other day in Florida, beat him on the side of the road while all this is being filmed from his phone. And then, so help me if the police chief isn't a black man, and he just goes and covers up for them on the thing. And it even triggered me watching this as a white guy. I'm like, number one, I'm not going to treat anybody like that if I was a police officer. And number two, I'll be darned, you're the same, as we call it, race, as everybody wants to initiate that context anymore. And so, like, here I'm seeing this, and I'm like, you're literally covering up for these evil men's actions. I'm like, wow, we are in a whole new paradigm. And that's why I just can't watch the news. Because I'm like, we're not actually talking about real crisis, real problems. This is the stuff that goes on all the time, and it just triggers me. Much love to you, Sister Tess. I appreciate that. I really hope I'm making a contribution to the kingdom. But this is the stuff that should be on the news. And listen, ever since, way back before I even had that dream about the judgment on America, and like, I guess I'd say almost a vision. But ever since I had that really, really impactful dream, even back before that, there was the last eclipse set that took place. There was a lot of things that mirrored that eclipse set, like that it did in 1811, 1812. And following that, there was seismic activity on that region. Okay. Well, fast forward, I have watched this region, and it has, to me, seems like it is very quietly waking up, as San Andreas and the Ring of Fire out in the Pacific. So I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is some serious stuff to consider. Okay. Especially anybody that lives in the Midwest, Midwest to Eastern area, Mid-Eastern area, something definitely to consider. Okay. Because last time this happened, you didn't have, major cities, full of millions of people like you do now. Okay. There's going to be massive devastation. All right. So next up, one that terrifies me. I tell you, I love the ocean, and but this one just absolutely just terrifies the living daylights out of me. Is a mega tsunami. Like, I can't even imagine standing at the ocean watching the water recede out. I would literally go jump in my Jeep and I would run every red light through town. I'd drive on the wrong side of the highway if I had to flee, because I do not even want to be caught up in this. Because I don't know, there's just something about, like, I've been around fire. I've volunteered emergency service work in the past. That's one thing. But the ocean, just something else, man. I've been deep sea fishing. I've been on a open ocean during a hurricane, on a cruise ship. I've seen a lot with the ocean, and it just creeps me out. And do what now? And just, you also don't mouth off. And just, yeah. Well, now I didn't see that guy mouthing off or anything. He was just, I don't know. It's an interesting, weird situation. But they also said in the report he had a knife. He was reaching for something. Like, dude didn't reach for nothing. He was sitting there with his hands up. But anyway, on target here, I want to tell you that there is this TV show, right? And the reason I'm bringing this up, right, this particular pop culture thing, and show you just a little clip of the TV series, is because they always tell you stuff before it happens. Seems like they have to tell you. You know, like boy, if that ain't the truth, I probably wouldn't even make it out of the parking lot, my man. But they always kind of like put stuff in front of your face, right? And so let me show you this clip real quick right here. Okay, and I'm only going to just show two parts of this clip, but just watch this, because this was from a TV show.
This is our continuing coverage of the situation that started in Antarctica and is causing unprecedented destruction and chaos around the globe. Here's what we do know right now. Just over 3 hours ago, what scientists are calling a massive mega caldera, or super volcano, erupted under the Antarctic ice sheet, expelling millions of tons of ash into the atmosphere. The force of the explosion shattered large portions of the ice shelf, instantly melting trillions of gallons of water and triggering a tsunami that is hurtling northward at nearly 600 miles an hour. Most disturbingly, some reports indicate the wave may be as high as 300 feet. In an unprecedented move, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has put all coastal areas of the United States on a tsunami wave that's due to hit at any moment. Is that correct?
That is correct, Bob. See, is the water, which is just beyond the city lights, has receded well over 3 miles out to sea.
Do you think that's a safe place for you to be?
We're on top of a 20-story building on the north shore of the island, so we should.
Oh, you okay?
I don't know if you can hear that. We just got hit with the massive high-pressure sound wave that has been preceding the tsunami and wreaking havoc with air traffic throughout the southern hemisphere. It's quite painful. What? What is that? Oh my God! Get away from the edge! Get away from the edge!
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is from the TV show Paradise. Let me see. Let me add this up right here. That was a scene from that. Okay. And then this was an excellent point too. Donna B said, deep impact movie showed major tsunami, scared me to death. Absolutely. And this is interesting comment too. Russia has a nuke called, which I won't say that false deity's name, that explode underwater that can cause tsunami twice the size of the Empire State Building. That's what will happen. Wouldn't surprise me. I think many people's talked about dreams of New York flooding. I could definitely see that play being made by Russia. Folks, things are going to continue to escalate between the United States and Russia. Like, it's going to get ugly, because Russia, I'm seeing it making friends and friends and friends and friends with people in Africa, and just doing the work of the kingdom by banning satanic things in their country and just all sorts of stuff that I totally applaud. And over here in America, you know, I'm just, it's crazy. And, you know, 2012, there was the big wave. And then the one that I had on the screen right there, I think that one's from the day after tomorrow. Somebody correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I think that's clip from, but I'm just saying this is something we absolutely need to prepare for. because a third of the ships in the world are destroyed. Now, I'm going to tell you, that's massive, catastrophic. You got to, I mean, I've watched some of the waves that, like, you know, vessels have went over, even the ones cargo carrying ships go over. I'm talking like massive waves, right? In storms. And to think that they make it through that and to watch a third of the ships of the world be destroyed, that's got to be a massive wave. It is the day after tomorrow movie. Thank you, Reg 8NY. I appreciate you. So this is something we definitely need to keep in mind, because at some point, you know, this is going to be on the menu, and I don't know the thing is, I don't know how much of the coastal area of the world it's going to be affected, because the trumpets, you got to guarantee for it with the 7 trumpets revelation. Now, you could also have localized ones just from, you know, nuclear blasts, like that great point that was made. I mean, you know, this is why I love live streams, because I try to put the most information I can together real time, and people always make great points. And Sister Cindy, what you said, they were crazy because we know they think they've told us about putting in movies. What you see in movies, their way of saying this is where we're going. Yeah, and it's I think Brother Joel called it the process of revelation, is what the sadists call it, so that they don't have to feel guilty about the evil things that they've done unto us whenever they do it. Right. So next up. This one, I'm not even going to mention. I'm not even going to say the name on it, because I don't want a content flagged or deleted, because it's just a constant with YouTube. It's why I keep my subscriber war trophy back there that I've survived on here this long, because it's just ridiculous. Yeah, that one, that is historical. The Alaskan wave. That one boat got carried off the sea and set up on the mountaintop, I believe it was, and that was crazy. Yeah, 1,720-foot wave. I can't even picture that right now, looking out my window on the farm. 1,700 feet up in the air. Like, I literally can only see right now probably like 500 feet up in the air at the angle in which I'm looking out from my window. I can't even imagine the sky being completely blacked out by a wave. It's terrifying. It's one of the scariest things I have on this list. And like I said, I just don't even want to think about it. Because the other thing is with the Ring of Fire, which I didn't put in here, is that, you know, I did put that slide, I don't think. But long and short of it is that with it actively waking up right now, is that the potential for that to happen so many different places, just like, what was it, in 2011, the one in Indonesia. You know, I mean, they've made movies about this stuff, folks. I mean, it just come in, and you know, it wouldn't surprise me. I think New York, I think Babylon will either be burnt with a nuclear blast or wiped out with a tsunami wave. I wouldn't want to be in New York. Yeah, men's hearts truly fail if they see a wave coming like that. I know mine would. I ain't no doubt about it. I'm telling y'all, I ain't even playing. Luke ain't even playing with some of this stuff. All right. So this one here, though, you know, we definitely need to plan for a repeat of it. They're laying all the groundwork for it right now. They also need this to really emphasize the Real ID program, the digitalized Mark of the Beast system, all that stuff. Furthermore, while we're on this particular point too, is that apparently, and I learned this, I was 40 years old this day old when I found this out, that I still haven't went and got my Real ID. I don't want to comply. Apparently, if you get a passport card, it supersedes the Real ID, and you do not have to have it at the TSA, the airport, to fly anymore. So just a free heads up caveat to those that's interested in knowing that intel. There's that part. But this one, the thing that is worrisome to me on this is, I think the next time when they do this thing, like they're gonna make something real happen this next time, along with the falsehood, because they've got to cement this next time for people to buy into it, because too many people that were lemmings got burnt last time, and they've openly said they're not going to comply next time around. So to pull that stunt twice, you're going to have to really amp it up this time. So, you know, I mean, there is that to consider upon that. You know, you're going to have to deal with pandemic, probably locked and loaded and reloaded. And, you know, they definitely going to try to pull this off before 2030. And I wouldn't say they do it at 2030. So, we're at 2025 on our timeline. So, I mean, in the next 2-3 years, it wouldn't surprise me if you don't see this. And of course, the final card being the alien card, which I've got that further in this presentation coming up. Okay, so let me X that screen off. All right. And so next, which is just absolutely breaks my heart, is the situation in Gaza and Palestine. There is a famine, man-made famine going on over there right now, and these people are now being starved out and murdered. And it just blows my mind how complacent the whole world is. And I don't even know what to do about the situation, because like, if there was active aid going to these people that are actually being allowed, that I knew was good people, this is where I would spend tithe money right now, because I want to help these people. But like, you can't you can't get on a boat and go over there and just help these people. All right. You're going to be shot. You're going to be murdered. The terrorist nation state of Israel over there right now, they're not about this. If I can't drive, I'm not going. All airlines are now modern day Greyhound and Continental Trailway buses in the sky. Yeah. The other thing is that, I mean, there's so many aircraft failures nowadays that I haven't flown since Rona. I mean, whenever I got on that last flight and came home, the day the zombie apocalypse was starting on the TV there on the screen in where was it? It wasn't Bakersfield. It was Sacramento that I was flying home out of. When I told Abby that day that we were going to either get a Enterprise rental and drive home through the night and never stop, or if we didn't get on that flight, if they shut the door and said that the terminal was closed. And we got on like one of the last flights before all that stuff went down. And it's crazy, and just that we need to learn from this stuff that past, because they're going to amp it up the next time through, and the next one will be a real one, and many will fall thinking it is a scam and refusing. Yeah, and thing is though, see, I feel like it'll be a double whammy, and guys, I can't talk too much about that point. I'm just like public service announcement and that, and then moving on, because I don't want the rest of this content took down. But yeah, because the thing is that it will get ugly. It will definitely get ugly next time through on that. All right. Yeah, absolutely, Kathy. Read Psalm 91 and consider where you are. We stand in Messiah Yahushua, no fear, only obedience. Yep. All right. So we talked about famine. We've talked about pandemic. The next one on my chart block, and now keep in mind with famine too, you're going to see that here in America in many places. All right. Nobody has a farm anymore. None of that really goes on anymore. So you definitely probably going to see that. And just remember that this might be the Gaza Strip today, but that could be Chicago, LA, your backyard. That could happen very soon. Now, the next thing I put on my chart block here is genocide and civil war taking place, and especially here in America. This one really, I would relate it to America, is that I think that a couple situations is going to be happening. I don't know what the deal is right now, but this government is very anti-Hispanic, Latino. So there is a lot of people, being shipped out Alligator Alcatraz and Alligator Auschwitz down there, and terrible things are happening to people. And there's places they're saying that there's bodies washing up on shores in different places. I think toward the Caribbean, South America, and they're handcuffed and all this stuff. And I guess it's happening over in Europe too. Crazy stuff. And you've got that going on. So you have like this mistreatment of the Hispanic Latino community, kind of like how the Japanese was being mistreated during World War II. And then you've got the further situation where that I feel like that there's this like so-called Christian white grouping that is being pitted against the so-called black man, African-American community. Seems to be, being hard driven. There is a lot of division politically, even a third political party being described to be formed by Elon Musk. There is massive division in this country, and I would not be surprised if just like this movie that was out, Civil War, if that you don't see something like this pop off while Babylon falls. And that's an excellent question. Does come out of her, my people, mean move away from the cities? I just feel like right now that if I could get up out of America, I would leave. Now, I know there's some really bad places in the world. There's places that by the time my boots hit the ground, they would murder me. But I also feel like I would not wake up one morning and like say I was in the sub-Sahara, right? I'm just going to throw this out there, just totally random place, sub-Sahara Africa. I may be murdered for being a white guy, but I am not going to wake up to a mega tsunami wiping out New York City. I'm not going to wake up and, Oak Ridge down the road from me is being nuclear blasted by Russia. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow morning and there's a massive civil war going on, most likely. Like, there's a lot of things that doesn't get checked off on the box, and I would be like, well, let me just move to an island in the Pacific or in the Mediterranean. And it's like, dang it, man, there's the mega tsunami thing on the menu. And so, I live in the hills of Appalachia, and I'm just like, okay, well, maybe, most of the country when burns down around us, and there's isolated pockets of survival until Messiah comes back. There's just so many questions. But the thing is I have this overwhelming feeling that I haven't felt in years, that this tug at my heart, and there's this just deep seated warning in my soul to get up out of this land. Now, that may not apply to everyone, but to me, I just feel this necessity to leave this land. And then, the other scenario, that you can run is, well, you look at Jeremiah, he told everybody, and then Babylon rolled up on the place and burned it to the ground. And then they come in the place and they're like, hey, are you Jeremiah the prophet? And they're like, yeah. And he let him go and live in his own land, in his own house after it's over. So, I mean, I don't know, so many things to consider. And I agree with that too. But faith without works is dead. So I feel like that's a very, very fine line to ride, because like, had I finished my off grid the other day when the whole neighborhood was without power for 4 hours, I could have just flipped the switch. There's just that to consider, too. But moving forward, this one, guys, I feel this one is definitely imminent. I've been watching this with great urgency for a while. And that is the super volcano caldera in Yellowstone. I remember when I was a little boy, my dad took me out there. Y'all rest his soul. I hope we meet again in the new kingdom and are counted worthy of life, both of us, for I have been terribly sinful in my life too. And Father, y'all, please forgive me my sins and save me in Yahushua name. The volcano that is out there underneath there is just waiting to pop. And there is actually a lot being shared about it right now. Somebody shared this on Facebook today, and I copied it too, is that, this is a lot of the maps that are circulating right now, that this is the eruption center. So like, if you live in eastern Idaho, northwestern Wyoming, or mid-southwest Montana, you are in a bad spot. And the ash burial zone outside that, is going to be an ugly looking place. And then you've got the other fallout, and then you've got the shock waves, and then you've got the toxic rain out where we live, and then the East Coast. And so you see, this is what I'm getting at, right? You take a mega tsunami and you wipe out the East Coast, and you have Yellowstone pop in the middle of the United States, and you pretty much about wiped out a ton of population in the U.S. just by 2 catastrophes. Like, that's just the potential of how quickly things can go sideways. And I'm just running 2 scenarios here, right? And what I want to speak to this is when Mount St. Helens happened in 1980, before I came to be up on this earth. I remember my mom, and I think it was my mom and dad telling me about this a long time ago, is that it rained ash down on the vehicles all the way out here in East Tennessee. Okay. And it was like, I guess, clouded skies for days. And that was just Mount St. Helens. And let me tell you something. Mount St. Helens is like a tiny little chihuahua compared to the volcano in Yellowstone is like a massive, like German Shepherd or Rottweiler, eat your face off kind of, you know, dog. So I just want to make sure, help everybody understand like what they actually dealing with. And I'm gonna share an article and a video with you real quick, but I want to read this right here. Sir, you would not be bothered here in Tanzania. Come and cleave to the believers here that keep the Sabbath. Shabbat shalom to you. Son has already said here in Dar es Salaam. Most High Baruch, you great, you Bantu Lisa. I would love to be out of this land. And not only that, I'd love to be in the presence of the Most High Yah's people that love and worship him. Because I'm going to tell you what, I know he will protect the apple of his eye. And whether I'm a free man or bond man in the New Kingdom ain't really of concern to me as much as I have eternal life and peace. Because I'm going to tell you what, folks, I've been we've all been slaves in this system under the New World Order ever since we all been alive, whether you know it or not. I don't think it works as much as Kingdom Cans. Besides this, if you love me, keep my commands. Yep. Keeping them commands is where it's at, folks. Either on the first or second resurrection. Yeah. Oh, I tell you, man, I just want to be part of it. Michael, I'm not sure what you're meaning on that comment. I would really like to know more on what you were hitting back on that. There's so much good dialogue in here today, guys. I'm sorry, I'm going squirrel onions. But let me pull this article up real quick. Now, before I pull this article up, actually, let me just make myself on screen for a second. I want to clarify something. Listen, I don't like TikTok, all right, because it's just, you know, like foul booty shaking stuff and a bunch of garbage on TikTok all the time. I feel like if you watch TikTok, you will rot your brain, all right? But actually, that's actually been a point made recently that apparently people watch TikTok. It actually like does something to their brain. But that's another conversation. But like TikTok is where it's been shared the most is you'll see bears in big groups leaving out of Yellowstone. Now, another thing too is there's so much fake AI content anymore. Please don't say, Luke, that 7 Trump's prepper, Lucas Cameron said this is true. Just do your own research. But there was a ton of, I think it was elk leaving in herds. It was bison leaving in herds. It was grizzly bears leaving in herds out of Yellowstone, right? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know, the animals, when they start dropping off the scene, folks, that's usually not a good sign, right? And there's this article. Oh my gosh, these advertisements. Right here it says Yellowstone officials shut down rumors of animals leaving due to possible volcanic eruption. Look, if they had any sense about them at all, listen, if I work for the government, number one thing I tell people is when people start saying, like, for example, Trump's on the Epstein list, you know what? Just don't respond because he's on the list. And it's like, if Yellowstone's going to blow, it's like the animals are leaving. It's like, well, just don't say anything because it makes it obvious that it's going on, right? Oh, big cats are leaving too. I'd love to have that info. They're moving southward away from the park is what they're saying. And what does it say? I was 22 and we had temperatures in 1/3 haven't been matched yet. Wow, that's crazy. Man, I bet that was something to see, to live through. But anyway, right here are shutting down rumors. No, for people like Lucas Cameron, you're just making them more obvious. But right here, claims about Yellowstone, animals leaving the park in droves, appeared on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook in recent weeks. One AI-generated video that gained traction features fake clips of wildlife such as grizzly bears, mountain lions, and elk traveling in large group. One video. I love how they mention that, but not all the other ones. Fail for the generated video, claimed and speculating animals were likely sensing something amiss. Blah, blah, blah. Wildlife is not leaving national park in large numbers. Linda Veras, a spokesperson for National Park, said in the statement, the rumor is false, and we believe the video that is circulating on in nature media is satirical in nature and uses. Oh, they believe. They didn't confirm. They believe. Okay, well, we out here in this world, people believe a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh, that I didn't even pay attention to that the first pass through on that article. That's very interesting. So, you know, look, guys, take it for what it's worth, or don't take it at all. That's okay too. I'm just sharing this so, like, when things get really ugly out here, you know, you heard it here first, or heard it here one of the first places. But the last thing I want to share with you is I feel like this particular scene from 2012 movie was like one of the most crystal clear of like the devastating impact of Yellowstone. And I'm gonna play a clip right here. Birds, wildlife, they are leaving. And then here you go.
Sure you don't want to come with, man?
So beautiful. I'm gonna stay.
Good luck.
This marks the last day of the United States of America.
I'll praise the Most High for that.
Tomorrow, all mankind, and we will be visible from the Milky Way as a tiny little puff of smoke. I'm watching the earth crumble before my eyes. Giant ash cloud created by this super volcano.
Fair use on all these videos in here today. I did not say that on the other one, but just fair use.
Will first envelop Vegas, and then St. Louis, and then Chicago, and then at long last, Washington, D.C. will have its lights go out.
That guy's crazy, right, Daddy?
I don't think so.
This is ridiculous. It's been over half an hour. I tell you, the guy's a nut job.
Stop it, Glenn. No, hand me the phone again.
What was that?
Nothing. Nothing.
I have goosebumps, people. I wish you could see what I'm seeing, people. I wish you could be here with me. Oh, baby. Bring it on! Always remember, folks, you heard it first from Charlie!
Don't look at it. Get down on the ground, baby. Get down on the ground and hold on. Don't look back. Don't look back. Just look at me. Look at me. Do I look scared? Hold on, baby. Hold on tight.
Daddy, we're on fire!
You can see right there just immense power that is coming out of the earth right there, and it is not. Mount St. Helen just blew out the sky, but when Yellowstone goes off, it is going to be absolute nuclear blast. The devastation of that is going to be in just indescribable, and you know, it's much love to you, Kat. I appreciate that. This I told y'all this is going to get dark, but it's definitely deep and important. And I believe that gonna be AI is being pushed so hard is so that it's desensitized, so that when things actually do happen, it will. Oh yeah, well, I see what you just commented that back. That are going to start believing then something real happening and won't be prepared. Yeah, that's it. Oh, remember that earthquakes and volcano eruption can be created. Yeah, very interesting is that there's this man that worked for, I think it was natural gas company, and they go out and they send like certain frequency down to find out if it's in that region. And he accidentally put the wrong frequency, and he set off an earthquake in the middle of nowhere that doesn't usually have earthquakes, and it was created. So very important to understand, that this stuff can also be actuated by man. Believe me, man is one of the most dangerous creatures on the face of the entire earth. I work each day doing electrical and HVAC local, and the snakes and the spiders and the bears, they tend to leave me alone. But people, they're not nice some days. And so, I really went in on mega tsunamis and the Yellowstone super volcano, because I feel like in America, especially where I'm located, these will be the two most devastating and detrimental things to our country outside of nuclear war. Because I just don't know how you pick up the pieces after this, or if there's any pieces left to pick up. I mean, I think the Most High is going to devastate Babylon, second beast of Revelation, by these two. It'll bring this country to its knees. Furthermore, if I might be so bold, is you slap. Let's start from left to right here. Okay, I'll tell you, if Luke was going to destroy this great whore, the great whore Babylon, Roman Catholic Church, but its daughter over here, the second beast of Revelation, what I would do is I'd pop off San Andreas and the Ring of Fire. That takes care of Washington, Oregon, and California. Then I'd pop off Yellowstone. Goodbye Midwest, all the way down to Louisiana. Then over here, I'd do the New Madrid. Goodbye Tennessee, all the way up to Michigan, all the way down Panhandle of Florida. And then I just dropped me a mega tsunami on the East Coast, and goodbye Florida to Maine. Does anybody have any questions? I think that at that point, we've cleaned the deck. Now, that's what old Luke would do. And it would be no more United States of America. And let me just be very clear that I was always Mr. G.I. Joe cartoon watching, red-blooded patriot, volunteered for the military, loving the United States of America, flag-waving patriot. And those days are done. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait for the Most High Yah's pyramid to come down out of the heavens and lay waste to this place. And the United States of America be no more, and the Most High Yah's kingdom set up. I will rejoice. All right, so there's that. And that makes me anti-patriotic. I guess I'm anti-patriot. All right, so moving on. Why is my slide not wanting to move? All right, so the next thing is financial collapse. This is not about Luke being a financial analyst. It's imperative that it happens, because you cannot bring about the beast system currency. You cannot bring about a new order until everything gets shaken to its foundation and its core. It's paramount, has to happen, should happen pretty soon and imminent. The way I look at it, fiat currency will probably plummet. Crypto will surge. It will be like in the 30s when the gold standard was removed and, cash was instituted heavy. I imagine that, be some wild stuff. Neil, did I go in too hard on that one? That theory would wipe out all human life. Oh my gosh. What y'all telling me is Luke just I went too vicious, huh? Sorry about that, guys. I'll dial it back a pinch. I mean, let me tell you, if you don't think one out of those four, though, ain't going to happen here in the near future in America, I think a person is deeply deceiving themselves, because a mega tsunami and Yellowstone, when the great earthquake before the trumpets start, I really expect those two on the menu. California sliding off into the ocean like it was in 2012 movie, and the New Madrid, those aren't too far-fetched for me either. I mean, all those are on the open menu. They were on open season in Luke's crosshairs right now. Yeah. Let's see. All right. So when we look at this, right, I remember in 2008 when the financial crisis situation happened, and I was like, done. I stood there talking to Steve, the outside sales at Peterbilt in Knoxville, and I was just like, I remember looking at him, and he's like, it'll be okay, Luke. And I'm just like, man, how are we going to come back from this? And honestly, financially, I don't think things have ever been the same ever since then. Just being straight with you. And yeah, Donna B, I think it'll be like Deep Impact, that it will probably, it will probably come in massively a long way. Right. But this is something we all need to be prepared for, because we need to, make sure our assets are rolled into something tangible. Let me give you an example. I sold my own personal off-grid shed recently because I was going to, I'm selling this place to potentially move either somewhere else or out of the country. And it also needed to be up off of the septic tank. So what I've done is I've rolled them funds into off-grid power to actually go inside the safety of the home. I've put it into other things so that either the new owner of the home can benefit from some good stuff or, etc. But I put it into something tangible that's beneficial, like actually has value, because money will eventually be of no value. And then, of course, if you're a believer and you don't got your real ID and your jabby stabby and everything else in between, you're not going to be able to participate in the beast system anyway, because you didn't take the mark of the beast. So we really need to think about it, and that's an excellent point, that what is happening in the U.S. is happening all over the world. Yeah, this is worldwide, folks. The thing is, right, I just want to clarify something and make a point here, though, why America is so interesting. I don't see the other countries of the world, or here in America, us like worshiping another country's president the way that people do America's. I don't see the potential for catastrophes in other places like we do here. For example, outside of that one volcano in Russia, you don't have a Yellowstone parked in the backyard of Europe, or in Australia or something like that. You don't have the New Madrid or the San Andreas. You don't have, nuclear powers hating us, or hating other places like they do us, and we hating them and their nuclear powers. I mean, like literally, like, look at what happened over in Pakistan and India the other day. Like, these people both have nukes and they're going at it. America and Russia and China have issues. They all have nukes. Like, all the psychopaths of the world that's going at it right now have nuclear weapons, right? So, like, America has the greatest potential out of all the nations. And I would argue this until I'm blue in the face, is that when I really stack the deck, right? And it's not to be like, oh, Luke's right. I would like to be wrong, because I freaking live here. But with that in mind, when you really stack the deck, right, America has the greatest potential for natural disasters, greatest potential for outside conflict, because we're making enemies with everybody on the block, and we're kind of a bully nowadays, right? And what was the other one? And with the bad severed ties that we have with other people, and as much as we import, we have a stand a great chance at famine and infighting, which will lead to trend into civil war and complete degradation of the society, and the fall of a republic, which is at its end right now when you look at how Rome was. Matter of fact, where is it at? I don't have it up there at the moment, I don't think. But anyway, you look at the rise and fall of it. It is a great one. Yeah, that one is something else, to see how people are just so calmly relaxed as everything is continuing to fall apart. I've never seen the world more broken than it is now, right now. The world is being judged, but Mystery Babylon, aka the USA, is slated for destruction. Anyone who think they will be raptured out of the Most High's wrath is under strong delusion. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this right now, is that Lisa, if I could be like parked in your backyard or my backyard right now and just like have a fresh start, I'd like to be parked in your backyard, because I'm not going to wake up one morning over there and be like, I'm going to be blasted away by Yellowstone. I mean, like, here, Yellowstone goes off, it's going to look like the land of Mordor out of Lord of the Rings pretty quick. I mean, this is some serious stuff, folks. And I don't think people understand that the evils that have been done in this land and the blood crying out, just how much judgment's going to be up on this land. Like, you go to just some little place in South America, it's one thing. You come here, the indigenous people were murdered. the Hebrew Israelites were carried away in ships and brought over here and under the curse of Deuteronomy 28. And you think the Most High is just going to let that slide, that his people's mistreated? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Literally just worked for a Hebrew Israelite lady. We're about to finish work for her. And I found out one of her batteries were messed up. I bought her a brand new battery out of my pocket and replaced it, because I am not going to offend the people of the Most High, y'all. Like, I'm going to be good to everybody, but I'm especially going to be good to the Father's people. And I fixed that immediately. I can't even imagine the judgment that is going to come on this place. Like, I almost want to watch it and be here present to see it, but I don't want to be caught up in it. So yeah, it's some serious business that's going to happen, because they've touched the apple of his eye. Okay. Let me see what Sister Cindy said. It's hilarious because we know that's so many are praying to be raptured, but they don't understand only that the wicked are plucked up, the real righteous stay. So many are blind. Absolutely. This is a land of abortion and trafficking. Yeah, don't forget, folks, our precious president of the United States, of these fine America that we live up in, he ain't on that Epstein list. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ain't on that list. We all know that, right? I'm being very sarcastic right now. All right, getting back on track. Let me put this back on the thing. So, you are the carbon they want to reduce, all right? And so these passports, these vaccine passports, these carbon passports, all this stuff is leading to the reasoning behind the financial collapse. They need this pushed down so that they can get you onto their dossier and guide you the way they want. Okay. Now, with that said, I've got just a handful left, folks, and we're done. This one, if you don't think it's going to come up on the menu, it is going to come up on, like, before there's a mega tsunami, before there's the volcanoes, before there's the Madrid, the San Andreas, for all these crazy things. Luke is just terrified knowing that it's coming. I would be shocked if this didn't happen tonight before dinner. That's how soon I expect this to go on, because they need an outside enemy anymore, because like fighting with each other is just not getting it done. The people of the world are tired of killing their brethren. I have no interest in killing a black man, a white man, a Hispanic, a Latino, an Alaskan Indian, where am I at? Asian, Island Pacificer. What is the other little boxes we check? Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting somebody. Did I cover the Middle East? Anyway, like whatever color on the Home Depot color wheel you are, melanin wise, everybody's tired of killing everybody. Okay. Other than the sickos that's at the top of the government sending everybody to do it. So, absolutely. Soria, you don't forget to stop at Luke's house and take me with you when you go, honey. Please take me with you. Yes, I did. Thank you, Sister Cindy. I'm being very facetious today on some of this stuff, but like I can't overly stress how much that the people that love the Father and love their fellow man do not have any interest in killing one another. Matter of fact, I seen this picture the other day, and if I can pull it up real quickly here and just be so bold as to share this. I don't know if everyone can see this. I'm going to take this down for a second right here. Let me put that up right there. You see all these faces, right? All right. And what it says is, my house will be called a house of petition for all peoples. And it says here in it, if you don't believe this is the face of the eternal kingdom, you will never see the face of the Almighty Yahuwah. And that's Yeshua, who 56:7, that was covering the scripture that was shared in. But you see, there's all these different faces and shades of melanin and men and women. And it's so interesting to me. I'm glad it's got to laugh at that on. But in all seriousness, I definitely want to be found with the Father's people. But oh man. Yeah, this is the stuff that just blows my mind, man. I tell you what, I'm so glad I'm the son of a foreigner, and I'm so glad when I look back at my heritage that it was native Siberian. I'm almost ready to call Uncle Putin up and see if he can get me a flight over to Russia. I'll just kick it with him, because I'm pretty sure the Most High is going to be merciful on them, because I don't see Russia ever enslaving the people of Yah, and it seems to be very kind to the people in Africa and to the Hebrews. But it says Yahuwah, just judge. America hasn't received her judgment for enslavement of his children. Yeah, it's gonna go down. It's coming, folks. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it real time in real living color in our lifetime right now. I'd bet the farm on it. So the thing to know is coming to a conclusion here on this is that I got to looking into this, and so some of these crazy stuff going on with seeing in the heavens and stuff. Apparently, General Dynamics and Lockheed Martin Northrop Group. This is some of them that was under construction, right? And this is from Lockheed Martin, and Bigelow Aerospace. Bigelow, yeah, Aerospace. Apparently, they've got this flying tech that they're working on too. So it wouldn't surprise me if Fallen Angels tech, they don't try to, scare everybody into coercion. And let me read this real quick. Former TSA agent here. Get your passport. Don't fall for what the DHS is setting up for you for. Our brothers create. You can fly domestically and cross land borders with the card for now. Yep. And I'm sure sister, they will definitely try to close that out. But I appreciate you backing my play on that. And I always try to share the most accurate, up-to-date info I can. If I'm wrong, somebody call me on the carpet. Luke is not above correction and making adjustments. Some sort of large catastrophe might be one last chance for the wake-up call. And I agree that, and that's why you'll see all this playing out during the trumpets for sure. But the last one, and the one that, like, I hate to say this because I just feel that I'm really overstepping when I say this, but like, if you had to like say, all right, look, I'm going to put you on like I-70 and I'm going to give you like a 10-hour start to outrun Yellowstone popping off. Or you can start in New York and I'll give you 10 hours to get inland before a mega tsunami hits. Or you have to deal with AI. I'm going to take that 10-hour head start of that tsunami because AI is one of the most dangerous things that we will ever deal with. I never thought the Terminator movie would be in living color in my life. I never thought that this would be what I would be seeing in my time. And sure as the world, we're seeing it. And I want you to look deep at that picture because now some people just see that it says AI and that's it. You move on. What I see is the algorithm. And then it mechanically being put into a machine that empowers itself to replicate itself. What I mean is when I have that in that, if I had AI and all that AI ever was in this little tablet, I can talk to it, blah, blah, not that I even care for fooling with it, but it's contained, right? It is what it is. It ain't in a body where it can move and replicate itself and make 1,000 more copies of it. We're there. So now you have a machine replicating itself into a movable machine that can go forward and kill you, that doesn't have a soul, doesn't have an essence, doesn't have any interest in preserving human life. Matter of fact, they consider us a threat. Every time AI has been checked on this, it's obvious that it is they want to dispose of us. It's been proven time and time again. I mean, heck, Elon Musk talked about summoning the demon. The head CEO or vice president of the tech stuff at Google that resigned or whatever, I think it was. He said that they call him the grandfather AI. He said that he regretted ever making it, I think it was. And, like this is the stuff that is in front of us. And I hate AI. I mean, listen, they have an AI robot that they have that it's like supposed to be a female companion for men. I seen this. It was who it was. They shared it on YouTube. I try to always give credit to everybody whenever they share this stuff. But anyway, long and short of it, there was this tech expo, and they had this female robot, and it was like, Father, forgive me for talking about money on SAB, but they had it down to like $20K, right? And it was a companion, if y'all follow what I'm saying, keeping it clean, all right? And you could change the face on it. You could change the skin on it. I think it was crazy. But the part that was so troubling about it was it looked real. Like you set a real woman down and you set that robot down. Like that much difference and you know, being able to tell apples from apples, right? And that's today. Imagine you open the floodgate on that in 10 years. And I've shown you this before too, in another live stream when I was railing on AI. Like I dedicated a whole stream about how anti-AI I am and how bad it is for us. Is that they said in 2015, by 2025, you'd have AI. And we're here at 2025 and we have AI. So imagine what 2030 or 35 looks like, or 40. Dude, I mean, it's like Blade Runner kind of stuff. You know, like, I mean, the dystopian, cyberpunk dystopian future is crazy. And so, like, I mean, this is real, and it is in front of our face, folks, and we need to be prepared against that day. So, lastly, I just want to say this. Scripture says, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. I want to trust in the Most High, y'all. And honestly, at this point in conjuncture, it is my only hope. Things are getting really squirrely out here, folks. I want to tell you, it has been an honor to meet so many of you guys on social media over the years, to meet people physically in body, to fellowship together. I hope we can all break bread together in the new kingdom. It is, it's been a journey. And, you know, as these things approach, for me personally, number one is to get my house in order, my own soul. No more sin, perfect alignment with the commandments, love my neighbor as myself, honor the Father, keep his appointed feasts, his new moons, his Shabbat days. You know, on top of that is to insulate myself to the point where if the power goes out, turn the power on. If you need water, get some water from your well. Just the simplest homesteading lifestyle mindset that a man can do, because when this does go down, I don't expect for a man to have to try to survive for years, you know, because you look at the poor folks in Gaza, no help, no relief. I mean, they're cleaving to life, and this has been going on, what, a couple of years now. And, excuse me. Yeah, I believe that's right. It's been a couple of years. And they is only so long a man can hold. And, you know, it's why if Messiah come, you know, it says, you know, no flesh would be saved. And we are definitely fast approaching critical mass. And you can do two things about it, okay? Is you can have a complete and utter mental breakdown. Or you can do what I've done and find peace with it. And I've looked at it recently, and I'm like, I am going to do all I can do to prepare myself and my family. And I'm going to lay that at the feet of the King. And I'm going to hope that me believing on him and having faith in his commands and his son and him and trying to do the right thing is going to be enough for a covering, because it is going to get squirrely and things are already in motion that is so far beyond anyone under the sound of my voice and myself. We're so far outside of the realm of controlling these things at this point that there is no turning back. Like that volcano under Yellowstone's been churning a long time. There is thoughts and intentions of other countries to burn this place to the ground. It's been in their mind for a long time. There is the 7 trumpets of Revelation written in the book of the Apocalypse of John, right? For a long time that's coming. The bills are coming due. So the best thing you can do is find the mental headspace to be at peace with this, so that when the world is on complete burn down, you can go on about your life as ain't nothing going on. And the last thing I'd leave with you is there was that Foot Locker commercial I shared some time back. It was a really weird Foot Locker commercial, and it was like the zombie apocalypse. And, you know, people were being beamed up by UFOs, and it was interesting because it was actually Hebrew Israelite people. And it's a weird Foot Locker commercial. And it was intriguing to me that I just feel like that there is a massive understanding in this world what is really going on. And the only ones that aren't in the know is the general population. and they're going to keep it that way till the last minute. And I'll close on this, is that as I seen that on that Paradise TV show, what was interesting to me is that it was, man, what was it? I forget the name of the thing, but they had this code name for when it was going to go down. And they were like, is it Versailles? Versailles. That was it. Yeah, it was Project Versailles. And they had built this town inside a mountain in Colorado. And of course, you know, they had like the kings of the earth would try to hide themselves and to flee the wrath of the judgment day of the Most High Yah, right? And it was just interesting to me as they took 25,000 people and they shut the doors on the place, and the tsunami went by. And then, you know, years later, the people in power try to still stay in power because that, you know, and all the stuff and everything. And it was intriguing to me to think that even the TV show, that TV show showed you that from the president down to scientists and tech people and laborers, people knew what was coming, and they walked around as if every day was just going to be the next. And when the day finally hit the fan, when the human fecal matter finally hit the vertical oscillator, that day, even in the presidential area in the White House there was staff that was freaking out because they knew they weren't going to get in. Their kids weren't going to be saved, and all that catastrophe was going to happen to them. And I thought to myself right there that, you know, that is exactly what is going on right now. I promise you there is plans in place. There is safe havens for the elite and those in power. And the rest of us are left out here. Like, I'm going to tell you, you better learn to be your own savior right now from a lot of this stuff under what the Most High will protect you, because they ain't nobody coming for us, folks. Better prepare to self-rescue. And, you know, this is definitely coming. And so just real quickly here, let me see what to, do what you can, depend on him for the rest. That is it. Just like death. Judgment is inevitable most times. Yep. I hope to meet you in the gathering. Hey, likewise, Tony. Most High keep you. Yeah, and then you see it in movies constantly. Yeah, Colorado, especially the airport out there, Denver, really creepy, wicked place. But guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go spend time with my daughters and my wife, and hopefully see my son this afternoon too. And you know, ever since my father passed away, I've tried to really make it paramount to be present in the lives of my family and friends and those I fellowship with. And I really want to stay on that and stay focused, because I'm going to tell you, I feel like time is definitely getting short for the things that's precious to us. So hug your family, tell your friends you love them. I do it all the time. Make it a point daily, multiple times if I can. And because we ain't promised tomorrow. So guys, until we see you again here at 7 Trumpets Prepper channel, I hope the Most High Yah baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends, in Yahushua name. Love everybody. See you on the next round.